Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about the plate removal surgery and skin graft surgery that I spoke about in the last video. Surgery was March 19th, post-op was the 27th, it's now the 30th, so since I didn't do a surgery video and a separate post-op video, this will be all in one, so I will try to make this as informative but short as possible. Bear with me, I'm getting a little overwhelmed with a surgery every time I turn around, so I haven't been keeping up as well as I used to. I went into surgery. In pre-op, my surgeon said that if she's able to, she's going to do the carpal tunnel surgery as well. So that was not planned, but we signed off on it while I was in pre-op, and I just wanted to be able to use my hand again. So she said that it should be an easy surgery and she'll do it. So I come out of surgery, and I guess my bone healed well enough so that I didn't need to even put a pin in there. I guess it's not even necessary to have hardware as long as your bones fuse like they're supposed to. People just don't go have it removed because they just don't want another surgery. I wasn't aware of that. So my wrist healed ridiculously well, the bone at least. So why couldn't my skin do that? I don't know. But that was a plus. I didn't need hardware in there. She also did the skin graft, the donor site. She took it from my upper thigh. It was only about an inch all around of skin, so not much was taken there, so that's healing well. She sewed up the little hole and then put the skin in the big one. She said since it was such a little wound that instead of stapling it, she stitched it instead. So it's healing well. It looks kind of gross. I expected it to, of course, look perfect the first time I saw it, but no, that's not how it works. So then the carpal tunnel surgery, she said that most likely I'll be able to start moving my fingers right away, and that didn't happen. So she said to give it time. So all right, so I leave the hospital, everything's fine. That night I wound up having a headache that turned into a wicked migraine that made me physically sick. I was trying to throw up, but I had nothing in my stomach. I was sweating, hot and cold, but my head felt like it was going to explode. Turns out I was allergic to fentanyl, which it says on my paper, and they put it in my anesthesia. So that was the only thing that went wrong, really, in the surgery. 3 days later, I had, like an idiot, I didn't have my wound vac bag around my shoulder like I should have. I just had it on this shoulder. And my boyfriend tickled me, and of course I squirmed, and the bag fell, bam, directly in the middle of my arm. I screamed in pain, but, you know, I just had surgery, so of course I'm thinking, you know, I just assumed it was because of that. I was still in the temporary plaster cast thing with all the cotton on top of it, so it was covered pretty well. So didn't think much of it. After I, you know, was able to breathe again, it was pretty funny, you know. It's just something that I would do. The next day I couldn't move it at all, so I just took my sleeping pill and slept all day. Then the day after that it was fine. I mean, it hurt like surgery pain. It seemed to hurt a little bit worse than I thought it should, but again, I had just had surgery, so I didn't know. I figured everything was fine. I went to my post-op appointment on the 27th. the first thing they do is an x-ray, of course. So they took off the plaster cast and everything, and my wrist flopped right over. So, of course, not where the fusion is, but the rest of my hand flopped over. I couldn't even hold it up. Of course, right then I knew something was wrong. The x-ray tech kept saying, oh, you're just not used to not having a plate in there. But, I mean, it's not normal for you to not have any control over your wrist or, and you know, part of your body. Obviously something's wrong in there. So I go back in the waiting room. I come back in. Before I even get to the room, my surgeon says, hey, come look over here. And she showed me right away. You could see the break. I broke my arm. Just clean break, completely broken. All because we were having fun. Whatever. That's just my luck. I mean, I wasn't really surprised when I saw that. So then we went into the room and finally got the wound back off after a month. But she said it would help heal the skin graft, so we took that off. And, I mean, like I showed you before, you probably can't see from there very well, but, I mean, she said it's healing well. And I even Googled it because I get worried because it does look pretty gross. And it's normal for it to be kind of indented like that. So my thigh skin is now on my hand. So that's going to be fun to tell people. Other than that, my post-op visit went fine. Except my surgeon scheduled me for surgery for Monday, which is tomorrow, to have a pin put back in there because obviously, I mean, my wrists are tiny. They have osteoporosis. When the plate was removed, there were pins or actual screws removed out of my wrist. So as you can see on my blog page, there are holes in my wrist, and the break actually went through one of the holes. So, I mean, it should have been probably put in the first surgery just for preventative purposes, but we didn't know. We're learning as we go. So, we're having that put in tomorrow. She was trying to avoid surgery, so she sent me down for a splint, to have my splint just kind of fixed to hold it tight, and have it x-rayed after that to see if it was holding the bone together, and there was no change at all. The bone was completely apart. Even in my splint, when I lift my wrist up, that's why I'm not taking it off, when I lift my arm up, the bone just comes right up. You could see in my wrist where it's broken. I have to hold it down because otherwise my arm goes like that. It's pretty gross. So before we even got a hold of my surgeon after that, I said just do the surgery because it's just going to break everything I do. It's going to happen. So we're doing the surgery tomorrow, putting a pin in there. So of course I'll be doing another video or typed entry. We'll see, depending if I get my speech recognition software or not. But I will try to keep up with this one a lot better than I have been for the last 3 surgeries. This is surgery number 4. So this fusion is turning into a nightmare. In 3 months I can get my wrist replacement, so we're already planning for that to prevent stuff like this from happening. I'll just add one more thing. My fingers are still not moving, and I still can't open my hand. So I asked the surgeon if there's anything I could do to help it along. Exercising it with my other fingers is one thing. However, I can't right now because my arm is broken. So if I move my fingers up to the side, the bone moves. So it's not looking good, at least to me. I asked her if there's a chance I won't be able to open my hand again. And the carpal will just pretty much keep my hand like this, and I won't be able to move my fingers. And she said there is a chance. They're still numb, so that's also not a good sign. She's really nice, so I don't think she wants to tell me that, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to move my hands again, all because of a fusion surgery that had a million complications. So, anyway, that's all for now. That's everything that I did or happened since surgery. Uh, Hopefully the pin tomorrow fixes my broken arm. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. So, again, we'll see you after surgery tomorrow.